to take action now.
And we'll get to that. Senator Schumer, from your perspective, has any progress been made? Will there be a shutdown in 5 days?
Yes. No, I don't. Excuse me. I don't think there'll be a shutdown, Christiane. In fact, I'm quite optimistic. I think progress is being made. They're working off a number, $33 billion of cuts. That's very reasonable. It's right in between what Democrats have proposed and Republicans have proposed, right in the middle. And after all, that was the number proposed originally by the House Republican leaders, Ryan and Rogers, the head of the Appropriations Committee. So they're working off that number. That's good. Now we have to figure out what goes into the number, and that's where the discussions are headed. Let me just say a word about that. We have two goals here. Jeff is right. We have to deal with the deficit very seriously. But we also have to deal with the economy and job growth. And we don't want to snuff that out, particularly when we're beginning to see jobs grow. If you just cut from domestic discretionary, you'll have to cut things like helping students go to college. You'll have to cut scientific research, including cancer research. These things have created millions of jobs through the years. And so the good news is this. There's another place we can look to cut, not just on domestic discretionary. It's called mandatory spending. It requires you to do something for somebody, but the way of doing it is not required. We can find cuts in places like agriculture and justice and banking. These are now being called chimps.
Chimps?
Chimps, yes. Changes in mandatory program spending. And we've offered about $10 billion of those to our Republican colleagues. They're not adverse to them because H.R. 1 had some of them in.
Well,
and I believe that's how we can come to an agreement that both keeps job growth and cuts the deficit at about the $33 billion level. And I believe that's where we'll end up. Yeah, I have a lot of sympathy for Speaker Boehner because he does want to come to an agreement. He knows how devastating a shutdown would be. That's his words, not ours, although we all agree on that. The one group that's standing in the way here is the Tea Party. Now, they have said that a shutdown is a good thing. You saw it on that tape. Some of their leaders have said it over and over again. Sarah Palin, Mike Pence, Michelle Bachmann. They say it's our way or no way. Well, that's not how the American government works. And I would say this, though. Here's the good news. The American people are seeing the Tea Party for what it is, extreme, and their popularity is declining. They now have only 33% of people in support of them and 47% people against them. And when they lose clout, it makes an agreement much more likely.
Right, let me
it's
ask you
another
this.
reason I'm optimistic about
let me just ask you this before we... recording-wise, you were caught briefing your fellow senators on how to address this issue, didn't know apparently the reporters were still on the conference call. Let's just play that because it plays right into the spin and the language about what's going on right now.
I always use the word extreme. That's what the caucus instructed me to do the other week. Extreme cuts and all these riders. And Boehner's in a box. But if he supports the Tea Party, there's going to inevitably be a shutdown.
Now, you know, Christiane, I have no problem with reporters hearing that. I said it a few hours before on the floor of the Senate. I've said it on this show. The Tea Party is the group standing in the way. They are extreme. Any group that says you don't cut oil subsidies to companies making billions and billions of dollars, subsidies that were passed when the price of oil was $17 to encourage production, and now the price is over $100. And at the same time says, cut student aid to help qualified students go to college, yeah.
Right.
I believe they're extreme.
Okay.
And I have no problem with that being said.
Extreme and holding the party hostage.
Is absolutely